Hello, I'm Roger McKinlay. I'm responsible for the Industrial Strategy Challenge activities within our UK National Quantum Technology Programme. And of course that's really about engaging with industry. And it marks a halfway point, if you like, in our national programme, which we call the 10-year £1 billion programme, because having very successfully funded the hub activities in universities, which included engagement with smaller companies, we're now actually focusing much more on funding industrial activity, commercialisation turning to industrialisation, if you like. So that's already underway, and I want to update you as to where we are with that. Plus we've been doing some other things. We've launched a project which will result in us having a national lab, a national quantum computing centre in this field, which has been planned for several years now. We also continue to work for national physical labs and our defence labs in related activities, so I mustn't forget them. But let's focus on that big orange slice now, which is the industrial activities. We've got tried and tested products in this area to make things happen, collaborative R&D programs and feasibility studies, and you'll be hearing from some companies who've won those. But we had a couple of new animals in here I'd like to fill you in on. One was what we call technology programs. This is not so much asking for, if you like, early devices. This is actually looking at funding the underpinning technologies. They might be the control technologies and environmental technologies needed to make the quantum bits work, or they might indeed be components which are spanning many applications. Components which you might find used, for example, in communications, imaging and in computing. So that has had a significant take-up, plus some other activities like test and evaluation and standards. So that's a slightly broader footprint of competition, and we're very pleased with the results there. And we're also running an investment accelerator. We picked a partner for a competition, that was the IP Group, several months ago, and over the next few months we're going to be looking at running some competitions to select projects and companies to invest in. So let's have some numbers. We've had 171 companies and 44 research organisations and universities not just apply to us but commit serious resources to writing applications and describing project ideas. That's a superb response. We've got 75 million of grant going out the door as we speak to fund 38 new projects and studies. And many of those have started despite the COVID crisis, and we're well on the way to getting the others started. And that means that 84 new businesses to us, some of them SMEs, some of them more well established, and 29 universities and research organisations are now featuring in these new projects. So our ecosystem, certainly those we're engaged with directly, has grown, and we're delighted just to see what work we've managed to get underway. The portfolio itself is slightly different from what we expected. I wouldn't have expected computing to figure so strongly, so that just shows how active this area is. But we've still got a strong uptake on sensing and timing, and on the communications, and if you look there, the imaging as well. So the only other section is this component. These tech projects have given us more projects looking at underlying technologies than we expected. I take that as a sign of maturity, but at last we're beginning to see supply chains develop. Judge for yourself as you hear how some of our new companies, or new to us companies, are getting on with their projects. Thank you.